I still wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it either.
If somebody
So
comes
hard
into
now.
your house, how are you going to do?
Yeah.
How you
You're that
handle that?
economy.
Did you see the claws on that baby's paws already?
know.
It's like,
Someone needs to do some clipping.
you know how hard it is to clip a baby's fingers
Right,
and toes.
exactly.
I know, just a regular baby. How about
Yeah.
a bear baby?
Yeah.
So I was completely distracted by the Elvis music in the background because the very first album that I got when I was a kid, I ordered it by mail. It was an Elvis record, an LP, one of those. This is a
still
long
have
time
it?
ago.
Yeah.
Oh, he was my favorite.
Do you still
Very
have
early
it?
on.
You still have it, Posty?
I could find it. Yeah, I could
Oh, wow.
find it.
That's probably worth
awesome.
something.
Yeah, well, maybe.
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 Nice.
I mean, this goes back a long way because I'm an old man.
Yeah, we do know that.
Yeah.
Hey!
Alex
kid
with
with
some
Posty.
zingers today.
I kid with Posty.
Holy, you're going to have a great
Welcome
show
back,
out there.
Alex.
You got to stay tuned.
All right, guys, thanks so much. We will take it over from there. Thanks for choosing America's Morning Headquarters. We are here to get you through the mid-morning hours.
The Weather Channel helping you plan for all of your big events ahead. For a lot of you, it involves rain and more rain and wind. And how about some cold temperatures that are not going to stick around?
Oh, Jen, you had to mention cold, didn't you?
Well, it is cold for now.
It is cold. Oh, you know what? We have a big deal because we do have the cold and the snow
We
across
got the
parts of
moisture coming up, and so this is just going to be a recipe for getting concerns out here for rain and potential for flash flooding. So this is going to be a talking point through the weekend. We'll be watching for that. Where should I sit?
Please sit right here.
Oh,
or
right
there.
here.
Where do
I
you
don't
want her? Here we go.
Wherever she sits, she's very welcome.
Sorry, guys. I was like, I don't know. There's two spots. Do I sit
Take
between
your
you
pick.
guys?
Yes.
I just want to point out that you made a really good point, Jen. The fact that we have this frontal zone for Wednesday and Thursday not moving much, that's going to be where the severe weather is, but it's also going to be where the flooding threat is. And that's kind of more of the issue, I think, for us on Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
It's not until Friday that the more significant severe weather, I think, really kicks in.
We need to move this discussion because we need a bigger one about it. But just you rarely see severe weather and flooding at the very same time, right? Because there's different things happening. But this week we could have some of those circumstances.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good point.
Okay, yesterday we were talking about seaweed. Alex, you missed the
I
discussion.
did miss it.
Yeah, it was a really good interview that we had with Brian LaPointe, Dr. Brian LaPointe, about the sargassum out there, the seaweed, and how it could impact our shores. And it's dangerous, actually. And we asked people, is it going to change your vacation?
It would change mine.
Well, we have a sign of spring. One. Look right here, one daffodil. But no, there's lots of signs of spring out there, actually. And we want to walk through some of the things that we need to think about, some of the questions you have when it comes to what is this spring going to be like. So let's start off first with our temperatures. So looking ahead to, or looking back, I should say first, then we'll look ahead. Looking back to our temperatures, we had a really warm winter. I don't have to tell you that. You felt it. You lived it across the east, especially into the northeast, parts of the Ohio Valley. We had a record warmest winter, actually, on record. And you look at places like Atlanta, Nashville, Charlotte. Now that we're in March, you're thinking, gosh, it felt warmer in winter. Well, when you at least look at February, it was. So far to date, March has been cooler than February. In Nashville, Atlanta, in Charlotte, in Birmingham, in St. Louis. I can add D.C. to the list, and Jacksonville I looked up too. I mean, there's so many places that had a warmer February than we've been so far to March. Now, March isn't over yet, so we'll see how it finishes up. And we've got a trend for warmer temperatures, as Alex talked about. But it was a cool one yesterday. We only hit 62 in Jacksonville. We were only in the 50s from Texas to Georgia to the Carolinas, where in some spots only in the 40s. But things are going to change. You saw in that outlook just for the next 7 to 10 days. We're looking ahead to April through June, through the rest of our spring. We are expecting to be warmer than average across the east. Now, with that, of course, comes all the concerns that we always get every spring, which is we start to get some snow melt. And we did have a decent snowpack up here and still do into the northern plains. That's going to lead to a spring concern for flooding. So we've got the spring flood outlook for you right here. And especially concerning is the Mississippi River around Minneapolis and then southward as you make your way down through running next to Iowa, Illinois here. That's the zone to watch for that concern for flooding. Of course, drought's another concern, especially in the middle of the country, and we look ahead to that as well. We are unfortunately not seeing any sign of that coming to a quick end. Alex?
Well, don't forget, like they probably are.
Cold rain.
Yeah.
Cold rain.
Yeah, they still have snow on the ground. Yeah, they got snow.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be talking about that, hear more on that snowfall still happening. And then look, it's not that unusual. It snows into April, actually, up here.
Yeah, you know, actually yesterday I was looking at a map of like the average latest freeze, a national map. And I remember, I lived in Wisconsin for 10 years, but I've forgotten how cold it gets and how cold it stays. It's like, it's into late April, early May is when often your latest freeze is. And I'm like, that's a different world from what I've been in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So very true.
Yeah.
Still got time.
Still got to, yeah.
Well, meanwhile, by now in California, we're usually starting to wrap up with these winter storms, even in, a typical winter.
Yeah, not this time around. It just keeps going. So I'm going to get going over here and show you what we've got.
A lot more rain and snow, Alex.
More rain and snow gets a chance to add up out there for us. Full force of these western storms. That is California. This is the 12th atmospheric river event this year to slam the coast with heavy rain and drop feet of snow there on the Sierra Nevada.
Reporter Rick Montanez from our CBS partner KCAL is along the Cajon Pass in the San Bernardino Mountains in the southern part of the state where it's just starting to snow. Rick, good morning to you. How are conditions?
Oh, well, good morning. We are seeing
Thanks so much, Rick Montanez there, giving us an update on what's going on in the West, which has just been a constant battle of having to deal with these systems after system after system.
And, they're getting snow again. It's another cold one with some snow levels dropping.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. How about we've moved on here because we take a look at our city on the rise in the coming days. There's a look at the current map here for us. And we've been focusing on that southern tier with the very high counts. And what happens is throughout the spring season, those high counts just migrate northbound. So Wichita, you're right on that edge now, kind of in that low to just under moderate range. But get ready. Things are going to start to blossom.
I know everyone feels that their pollen is the worst.
Right.
But I just want to take a person who feels like that and send them to Wichita and see what happens.
Experiment time.
Experiment
Wants
time.
to volunteer.
Yeah, I know, right? Weather-wise, this will bring out the pollen.
Yeah, warming up. In fact, Wednesday expect to be deal with pollen counts go up pretty high.
Yeah.
And the wind, which doesn't help, right? We always talk about windy, dry conditions, but it does cool down a bit by the end of the week.
All right, well, my pick city today is until 2 o'clock on weekdays.
I'll take a deal.
And it warms up. Good for skating.
It does warm up. I'm trying to figure out the price range, though. Why is it?
I think time of day. And
oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, go when it's cheaper.
Alex will save you some money. All right, our question of the day is about the counting down.